Good morning. Good evening. Episode
Good
43.
evening. Hello.
Happy to be here. Took a couple weeks off. We had a pause for the election results and we had a technical difficulty before that, but we're back. Happy to be back. And I'm coming off of the morning of talking a 10-year-old off of the ledge as we dyed her hair red yesterday, and it's amazing and she loves it and it couldn't have been more of a better moment. Shout out to Madison Reed, like that product and natural ingredients and the whole process, amazing. And she's so in her body and really excited about it. Cut to what's Tuesday morning, because it was a holiday, going to school, and all of the imposter syndrome things for a 10-year-old are coming at it. So we ended up our hair in a bun, in a beanie. How are you?
To say that dyeing your hair red, like on a whim, is a life passage. So get it out of the way at 10. Everyone sort of comes to regret it, like one way or another. Like not everyone, but like it is a moment where it's like not the right shade, not the right vibe. It's
a rite of passage.
It's a rite of passage. She's going to be okay. And there's always more hair dye, as I experienced the day before. I dyed my hair 3 days before I took my school photos on my senior year. And I thought I was going strawberry blonde, but I really went like my light dyed. I went, full on, pumpkin is the best description. So then I became a dark brunette for a minute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because you can always buy more hair dye.
Yes.
It's the magic.
Yes. Yeah. My hair turned orange when I dyed it blonde, but we won't go there.
Anyway.
Wasn't good.
It's a rite of passage. But
yeah, it looks amazing.
I'm sure it's awesome. I'm sure she'll feel better about it tomorrow. I'm sure we're all feeling like there are things that we could feel a little bit better about. I was feeling good about my lining until a minute ago, but whatever.
Well,
so anyway, here we are. This is a podcast about marketing trends and all the good things we're sharing on Slack and speaking, and sometimes on LinkedIn, which is what we're going to maybe dive into today, right? Something I shared on LinkedIn.
Indeed. So again, as always, a lot to dig into, but really want to pull out a piece. And it just was so obvious to me, one of really what I want to be talking about and what I want to be sharing, and certainly a huge highlight in the letter. And just, I want to talk more about it. Calm.
Yeah.
Their ad around the election, like, let's give it a little background and then really dig in. Cause you highlighted and wrote a LinkedIn piece about it and everybody's really feeling it. And I know I am.
Yeah. Adweek talked to me about it. A few little things happening there. But I think so to me, what worked so well about Calm, right? Like that moment was stressful. Like it was the essence of stress. Like I've never seen anybody like on both sides, quite honestly. Like
right. So election night, the back and forth. Yeah.
We're all, I was fast asleep, but like you're all watching your TVs, wondering what's going on. Calm comes in and gives you 30 seconds of silence. Genius. Like just genius. What is genius about it for me was that they didn't try to make a whole thing of it. Like they didn't try to make it like clouds and rainbows and high production. It was a gradient, some type. I don't even know if it was their brand font. Maybe there was a logo. It was tiny if there was. And it just said like, I think we all need this moment of like calm. And it was perfection. To me, like what I told Adweek and like what I wrote in my LinkedIn post was that for me, like what works so well about it is that they basically gave their product away for free. In that moment. They didn't try to like make it an ad for you should feel calm and go get calm, which could have easily been the other ad, right? Had someone else.
Or you're not feeling calm. This is what you're missing out on.
Right, exactly. Like there could have been this like, you should go and buy our product. But instead they just said, no, here's the product. And it was generous and it was like, it's giving away water at the marathon. It was just like, here, you need this, you need good energy and and here's the product for free. And I think that is that's what worked for me. Like the low production value of it that didn't try to make it about the brand. And then they gave away the actual product so you could experience what it was like to have the product and see the benefits.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was really from the idea all the way through the execution and having it be such a tight brief through the whole process of that. Because normally it's like, okay, well, that was a great idea, but like, wow, they really came at it with graphics and this and that, and they didn't do any of that. Like it was an idea that is the essence of their brand. Like I know and have used a lot of the various meditation apps. And I was thinking about like, oh, this app could have done it this way. Headspace would have done it this way. Like every app would have done it a little bit differently. If they stayed true to their brand, and Calm being the brand that they are and being what the meditation, the format of the way it is, and staying so tight to that brief and not wanting to push for more, I thought was just such a beautiful example of, to your point, being generous and giving it away for free from a brand. And that just comes back in strides.
Totally. And the Adweek article was about like, what can brands like learn from this? Like, what can you take away from this example? And I think there was some great kind of moments in there. To me, like, it was also like, yeah, maybe one group was more stressed than the other. I have no idea. Like, I'm sure everybody was stressed.
Yeah.
And I think that's, to me, was like, it was a good way to kind of come in if you don't want to be politically divisive. Like it wasn't like, oh, we're going one way or the other. And it really like took advantage of a moment, like a moment in everybody's like current mind. Right. Like, and it really, like, I think being opportunistic like that could be seen as a negative, but because it came with the generosity, wasn't it was not as opportunistic. And I think that's what really, really worked about it.
So
you
true.
Use these
and
products a lot, right?
Yeah, I do. I do. It's one of the ones that I use, but I think we know what it took internally to hold back on that of wanting it to be more. And somebody had this idea to push it and do this, and they just didn't in any part of that. And that restraint and that generosity, I just think is really impressive, knowing how a lot of companies work, and you want to do this and you want to put something out there that's going to be a great idea. And it's a great idea regardless, but the way that they executed really stayed true to that. And I think really stayed true to what they were offering. It wasn't like, oh, did you remember? Yeah, we watched that. That was cool. Okay, I should use my meditation app after. It was like, no, in the moment, this is fucking chaos. It's bipartisan. It was on both sides. This is bananas. And then they actually, to your point, they gave away the product. They showed it. They didn't tell you about it. They showed it. It was an example in that moment, and your body could just be like,
yeah.
And that's incredible.
It was an actions, not talking situation, right? Like,
yeah,
walking the walk versus like saying, just talking about what that you should be doing and how it could be better.
Yeah. I mean, looking at, I think there's a lot of great points in the Adweek article. And I think your quote nailed it, right? What you were talking about, that you said it felt like somebody had just sent you a text message, which is one of the most successful ways to share information these days. And it's so true. It was exactly that. It wasn't invasive, and it was just what you needed.
Yeah. Well done. I mean, they always do great things. Like they have a history, a little bit like, I would say, Liquid Death. Like they have kind of a reputation for doing like very walk the walk versus talk the talk campaigns, and they're not like campaign-y. So like they're continuing to kind of do what they're doing. I think it's just a lot more brands, I think, could easily learn from the concept of like generosity and giving. Like, I think there's a lot of like, like it's like freemiums and and people have a problem with all of that. But I think reality is that like, especially in tough times, being a generous brand goes a long way.
And I think that's what we need. I know that that's like a focus for me. I think that that's what we need now more than ever. And it comes back. But I think the focus on giving it away.
Yeah. Yeah. Which makes me think of something I'm going to write about on LinkedIn today, which was, I saw this amazing, one of my friends sent me this amazing Slack thing that they posted. It was done in their app update. Like, so if you're on your phone and you're in the updates, whatever, it was this message. I'll post it in the show notes. But it essentially was like somebody had written in the app updates where they normally say, like this bug is fixed and this bug is fixed. They're like,
Right.
How are you? Is everyone okay? Do you need anything? Do you need to take a breath? Do you need to do something? And like, what I loved about this moment was that was a human being who did that. Like, it was written like a human being. It wasn't a big giant thought. Again, it was like a text message. Like somebody in that brand took this tiny little moment to say, hey, let me put something a little human out into the world for today, because there's a lot of people, like, whatever feelings you have, there are a lot of people who don't have those feelings, and we're having a tough day. And they took that moment to be human in a place where no one was looking for it. They're not going to get credit for it. It's not going to be like this big, like, brouhaha thing, but they wanted to do something kind and somewhat generous with the time and energy that they have in this like tiny little moment. And I thought it was really powerful and reminded me that there are good humans and real people, and those can also live and work and produce things in brands. And I think that is a very powerful thing to remember in these times.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, I, of course, didn't read it because I don't read any of those updates. But once you sent it to me and shared with me, and it's beautifully said. And it really, is clearly a human. So I think we need more of that now more than ever, and not just the election, but AI, kind of all of the things. So for brands to lead with humanity, for brands to lead with generosity.
Yeah. I think it will come back. It will come back to you in a good way. So here's to more humans kind of showing up in some brands over the next few months, I hope.
100%. I'm here for it.
All right.
Okay.
We closing out?
We
Anything
are.
else to add? Okay.
I think that's perfect. I'm going to go meditate.
All right.